It was supposed to be the kind of trip that erases stress, not creates scars. In August 2024, the Norwegian Spirit, a luxury cruise built for calm seas and postcard horizons, left Jeju Island for a 6-day voyage through Japan and Taiwan. Among its passengers was Lee, a Taiwanese traveler looking for nothing more than rest, scenery, and a brief escape from the routine of everyday life. On the final day of the cruise, as the ship cut through quiet blue water toward Taiwan, Lee stood alone on the upper deck. He leaned against the railing, watching the ocean unfold beneath him like an endless moving mirror. The deck was calm, the weather was clear, and then, in a single blink-long instant, everything changed. Lee lost his balance. There was no struggle, no warning, not even a shout. His body slipped over the railing and disappeared into the sea below. On a lower deck, a family taking photos accidentally captured the horrifying moment. His fall frozen forever in the corner of an otherwise harmless vacation picture. Unlike so many maritime incidents where response time is questioned, the crew reacted instantly. Alarms blared, the massive ship screeched to a halt. Rescue boats were launched within minutes, carving frantic circles into the waves as passengers watched in stunned silence from every balcony. For nearly 40 minutes, the crew searched. But when they finally pulled Lee from the water, the outcome was tragically clear. Despite every attempt to revive him, he could not be saved. His death was declared moments after he was brought back on board. Police later confirmed it was an accident. No foul play, no confrontation, just a devastating misstep at the wrong moment. For everyone else on the Norwegian Spirit, a relaxing holiday ended with the chilling reminder that at sea, even one quiet moment can shift from peaceful to fatal without a sound. On May 5, 2017, London woke slowly, its streets filling with commuters moving across Putney Bridge like they did every morning. Among them was a 33-year-old woman walking to work in the soft light of early day. Nothing about the moment felt unusual until the man in running gear appeared. He jogged toward her from the opposite direction, seemingly lost in his routine. But as they neared each other, he suddenly swerved. Without hesitation, without a word, he thrust his arm out and shoved her violently off the pavement. She didn't even have time to scream. Her body toppled directly into the path of a double-decker bus approaching at around 12 miles per hour. The driver reacted with impossible reflexes, swerving just inches away from crushing her. Had his reaction been a fraction slower, the woman would have been killed instantly. 15 minutes later, as paramedics checked her injuries, the jogger returned, running the same route as if nothing had happened. When the shaken woman tried to confront him, he ignored her completely and kept moving. The entire assault had been recorded on the bus's dash cam. Police launched a massive investigation, reviewing more than 50 suspects and arresting 3 men. Each was cleared. Despite the clarity of the footage, the jogger's identity was never confirmed. In June 2018, the case was officially closed. The man who nearly ended a stranger's life in broad daylight simply vanished back into the crowd. On October 20th, 2020, 77-year-old Celia Ward set off for a peaceful bike ride along a shared pedestrian path in Cambridge. She had spent decades helping bring newborns safely into the world as a midwife. Retirement had brought her simple joys: fresh air, gentle exercise, and quiet afternoons. But that day, fate put her on a collision course with someone she had never met. Walking toward her on the same path was 46-year-old Oriel Gray. As the two women approached, nothing seemed unusual. But as they passed, Oriel suddenly shouted, "Get off the pavement!" and swung her left arm sharply toward Celia. Startled, Celia wobbled, lost her balance, and veered off the edge of the path straight into the road. An oncoming car struck her instantly. By the time emergency services arrived, it was too late. Oriel didn't stay. She simply continued walking, later telling authorities she had no idea the encounter had caused a fatal accident. She was arrested and convicted of unlawful manslaughter in 2023, receiving a 3-year prison sentence. But in 2024, everything changed again. Her conviction was overturned, with the court ruling that shouting and gesturing alone couldn't legally be considered an assault. For Oriel, the case ended. For Celia's family, the loss never will. It began as a night meant to heal a town. Karakosh, once scarred by war, was alive again. Families dressed in their best crowded into the Al-Hatem wedding hall, filling it with music, laughter, and the rare feeling that life had finally returned to normal. Late September 2023 was supposed to mark a new beginning. Inside the hall, the bride and groom stepped into their first dance. Indoor fireworks burst upward, showering the ceiling in golden sparks. For a heartbeat, it looked magical. And then one spark struck the wrong material. The ceiling caught. Flames spread instantly, racing across the foam panels and plastic decorations that had made the hall look beautiful and dangerously flammable. Smoke thickened. People screamed. Guests ran toward exits that were too narrow, too few, and in some cases blocked entirely. The power died. Panic swallowed the room. Outside, survivors watched the building collapse into an inferno while others tried to rush back inside, only to be pushed back by unbearable heat. Firefighters battled what was left, but by dawn, the scale of the tragedy was undeniable. 94 people dead, more than 100 badly injured. Entire families wiped out at what should have been a celebration of unity. Officials later confirmed the hall had been built with banned, combustible composite panels. Safety inspections had been ignored. The fireworks had been launched without proper authorization. What should have been the happiest night in Karakosh's recent history instead became one of the darkest chapters the community had ever endured. It wasn't war this time. It was neglect. Across oceans and continents, another kind of danger unfolds, not in halls or homes, but above the world itself. To most people, rooftops are boundaries, edges we avoid, places where height reminds us of our limits. But to free runners, parkour athletes, and urban climbers, those boundaries are invitations. They call it freedom, the ability to move without restraint, to dance above the structures that contain the rest of us. These athletes sprint across ledges barely wider than a hand, hang from cranes that sway hundreds of meters in the air, and balance on beams, where one gust of wind could be fatal. There are no safety nets, no harnesses, no second chances. When they leap between rooftops, the world beneath them shrinks. Cars turn into dots, streets into thin scratches of pavement. Up there, the only sound is the wind and their own breath. They chase the same rush skydivers and base jumpers feel, but without parachutes, without backups. Every viral video hides an invisible truth. For every stunt completed, there are others who never made it home. Some do it for the challenge, some for the beauty of movement, others because in a world full of rules, defying gravity feels like the only real expression of control they have. But at that height, even a moment of distraction can decide everything. One wrong step and it's over, because the rooftops don't forgive mistakes, they simply wait for one. Beneath the surface of open water lies a world of silence, instinct, and predators older than civilization. The ocean doesn't care about human confidence or comfort. It moves calmly, until it doesn't. In 2024, a swimmer in Sydney Harbor learned that truth firsthand. He slipped into the water for a quick swim, expecting nothing more than a refreshing dive. But moments after surfacing, the shape appeared. Dark, massive, gliding with terrifying purpose. A great white shark. Instinct screamed at him to flee. He felt the surge of adrenaline, the panic, the realization that something powerful was closing in. But running would trigger the chase. Thrashing would make him prey. In a moment most people could never imagine, he made the only decision that might save him. He stayed completely still, lifted his arm, and made a slow, deliberate motion in the water. Not a splash. A warning. The shark circled. Its outline drifted through the blue, massive and silent, assessing, deciding. Then slowly, almost peacefully, it disappeared back into the depths. The swimmer reached the rocks and climbed out alive. Sharks don't hunt humans deliberately. Most attacks are mistakes, confusion, curiosity, or defense. But when you're in the water, statistics don't matter. All you feel is the vast, ancient truth that the ocean is not yours. He survived because instinct met calm. Others are not always so lucky.